said, let us go over to the other side. And when Jesus made that declaration, he spoke those words at a time where he had just got through ministering all day, where he had taught them, where he had brought to them a word that had changed their lives, and he had spoken all day, but the Bible says that it was now evening. It was now evening. And you see that at evening time had come right there in verse number 35, that evening had come. And so as we look at this, the disciples would have understood as they were with Jesus that at this point during the day and at this point during their journey, that it would not have been safe to cross in the nighttime. They would have preferred to find themselves crossing in the daylight. But at the nighttime, there was uncertainty wrapped in darkness. Listen, in the ancient world, night travel by boat was risky because the visibility was low, that storms were common, and that the Sea of Galilee was notorious for certain squalls that took place. And that timing underscores both their vulnerability and their dependence on Jesus. Jesus needed them in place, listen, in the place of vulnerability, so that he could teach a lesson that would help them to get through what they were about to experience. Isn't it funny how God would bring about transition in our lives through the use of uncertainty? In a season in which we are vulnerable, but he did this because he needed you to depend on him and stop depending on yourself. Faith requires self-reliance, self-dependence, while uncertainty requires us relying on Jesus, depending on Jesus. In uncertainty, we have to remember that he has said what he said. And I don't want you to miss that there. And that this, and also as we look at this, we see that the timing is unknown. Check this out. We're looking at a storm from the vantage point, us reading the story, from the vantage point of knowing the end of the story. But when the disciples stepped into the boat and as they prepared to go to the other side, they did not know that the storm was going to come. And so they got into the boat thinking that this is going to be just another trip to the other side, thinking that they were just going to be just another casual journey to the other side. And they said we had just been successful in ministry, and so therefore we should not expect anything, that we will be able to just shift to the other side. But I found out something, that when Jesus invites you to go with him somewhere, you got to expect that there's going to be frustration. You got to expect that there's going to be difficulty. Why? Because he needs you to be prepared and your faith to be on a level that when you get there, that you will be able to see what he promised. What are you trying to say to us this morning, Key? Is that God allowed you to go through some storms in life and go through it in points of uncertainty because he needs you to understand you got to start relying on him and stop relying on your raggedy self. Look at your neighbor, say, you got to rely on God. You got to rely on God. Here it is. As we look at this, Jesus tells them, he says to them, come on, let's go to the other side. And at this point in their journey with him, the disciples, as we look at this, we see that these disciples, they step on the boat. And notice this, that as they go, they don't say anything about to Jesus. Hey, you expect anything to happen out there? You think we're going to run into something out there on the water? But they take him at his word, and they get on the boat and begin to go to the other side. And up to this particular point, they had saw Jesus heal the sick. They had saw Jesus cast out demons. They had saw Jesus do all type of miracles. They saw him turn water into wine. They saw Jesus do all of this stuff. They saw him perform miracles on what was in land, but they had yet to see him do it on the sea. See, Jesus needs you to understand, not only do I got power over the land, but I got power over the sea. I got power over all things. And sometimes he needs your little old self to understand that I can control it all. I don't need your little raggedy hands on it. Let me do what I do because I can control it and take care of it on my own. He needs us to see that in this time that he has it under control, and he needed the disciples to go forward. But notice something here that really stuck out to me. Jesus controlled the time in which he departed. Jesus could have said, you know what, I'm done teaching, it's getting late, let's cross over to the other side. But Jesus, he kept on teaching, he kept on reaching, he kept on preaching, and he did that for a purpose, because he needed everything to line up, because he needed them to experience the storm in a dark season. Let me just come on and hang out on your porch for a second and say this to you. That every now and then God needs you to go through a dark season in your life so that you will not look at what's going on around you, and you will keep your eyes stayed on him. Jesus sometimes has to allow you to go through a dark season because we have the tendency, as long as things look good, we act like everything is all right. But he said, I need you to go through some dark times in life so that you will be able to appreciate me walking with you and guiding you through the storms of life. Look at your neighbor, say, you got to go through some dark times. You got to go through some dark times. And when you go through the dark times, God is using those dark times. But check this out. This blessed my spirit. As I was sitting there, I thought about the fact that sometimes y'all will come to church. Bree will come to church every now and then, and we'll hear a sermon, and it speaks directly to our hearts. And as we leave that place, we go and excited because the preacher told us and gave us the assurance that you will make it through what you're going through right now. And you're encouraged, you're uplifted, you're confident that God promised that everything is going to be all right. But late in that evening, late in the midnight hour, you get a telephone call that disrupts your spirit. You find yourself being devastated. It shakes you to the core, and suddenly you find yourself in a dark place, wondering how such a storm could come your way. I don't know if anybody's ever been there where you don't came to church, preacher don't preach real good, you don't shout and clap your hands and dance, you left talking about, ooh, church was good, but when the night came, that news came, and it caused you to be disturbed in your spirit. Y'all been there before? Where the enemy stepped in, where everything seemed to be all right, that word was just for you, and God says, I gave you that word because I knew what was about to come. So here comes the enemy. Come stepping up in your room. Come stepping up in your home. Come stepping up in your situation. But here's the issue that we have, is that we allow it to affect us in a negative way, and we find ourselves not going forward, but being stopped by the storms that we're experiencing. But God says, I need you not to be detoured by the storm. I need you to keep on going and keep on moving, because I have something waiting for you beyond the storm. Here's number 2. Got to walk real fast because Toya already peeping around the corner. Here it is. What he said was met with resistance. Bible tells us in verse 37, and there arose a great storm of wind. The moment Jesus declared the destination, resistance rose to challenge what Jesus said. These familiar fishermen became fearful because of the storm. Their courage collapsed because of the chaos. Their security in his presence began to sink, just like the boat that they were in. But take notice that the storm didn't begin until after Jesus spoke the word. Look at the text. It did not happen until Jesus told them, let's go to the other side. And when we look at the word arose in this particular Greek form, it suggests that there was a sudden emergence, that as if the creation itself responded to the authority of Jesus' word. And the winds and the waves were not random. They were reacting to the divine declaration of Jesus Christ. And when Jesus speaks destiny, the environment shifts to test what Jesus said. The disciples had seen his power in healing, but now they would see his power in holding them in what they were going through. See, y'all, catch this. Resistance is not proof that God is absent. Resistance is proof that destiny is active in our lives. Storms don't show up for people going nowhere. Say it real slow. Come on. Open the door up on the bus. Let me holler at you. Y'all listening to me? Come on. Storms don't show up for people going nowhere. They show up for people carrying a word, possessing a promise that God has spoken to their lives. The declared word attracts warfare because it carries weight of Jesus. In other words, because Jesus has spoken it, the enemy must fight against it. This is why the storm isn't a sign that you're off track. The storm is the sign that you are on schedule with what God said he's going to do. Some of you may not know this, but I found this to be interesting. Y'all know I love planes. I love planes. And this interesting fact, and that is that airplanes face the strongest winds during takeoff. Not because they're failing, but because they're rising. Come on. Come on. Come on now. They ain't listening to me. An airplane face its greatest resistance when it's getting ready to take off. The resistance come against it in its greatest form when it's getting ready to go higher. Still a little bit slow this morning. Let me just go on and bring it home. Sister Walker, that when that plane is getting ready to elevate, it has to have the greatest resistance in order that it can go high. Somebody will catch that in a minute, because you are facing all that you're facing because God is getting ready to take you. Caught it? Still, they a little bit slow this morning. Still, Nick still ain't caught it yet. Still, look, they still there. Okay, Nick say y'all ain't got it yet. Let me help you out. Is that the reason that the enemy's fighting against you? Because he sees that God's getting ready to take you higher. Instead of you trying to keep going higher, you keep going back. I've never seen a plane go back to the gate because resistance was against it. I seen it speed up so that it'll take off and go. Huh? We got too many people running back to the gate. No, it's too much coming against me. God said, baby, just keep on moving because I want to take you higher. Oh, no. Go. Let me help y'all out. Pleasant Grove, the reason that we're experiencing some resistance as we're moving forward, it's not because we're going down. It ain't because we're staying on the same level. We've been saying all year long that it's up from here. In order to go up, you got to have some resistance. Let me go on. They ain't playing right with me this morning. But in order for God to do what you need to do in your life, you got to understand that I'm not failing because issues are coming. I'm not doing in a place where I'm not doing what God says to do, but because I'm doing it, God's got to allow the resistance so I go higher. Come on. Look at your neighbor, say go higher. Go higher. All right, come on. Thinking about this, Jason, that if God can use the wind to lift the plane, he can use that same resistance to lift you. The Bible says that he'll make your enemies your footstool. And what actually felt like chaos was just God confirming that I made the promise. And because I made the promise, I'm going to allow chaos to come your way because I'm taking you higher. Yeah. You might feel like you're sinking. Come on, say it. I'm trying to be good, trying to get to these other points. But we used to do what we call a vertical jump. And the thing about a vertical jump is you can't start here. You got to get down low. Yeah. And when you get down low, you can go higher. Yeah. And every now and then, God's got to take you real low. So he got to get you way down. So I wish I had somebody right there that you may be as low as you can go. But God says, I need you to get down. So they missed it. Sister Martin, they didn't catch it. Because getting low means that every now and then you got to get down on your knees and begin to talk God about it. And the more you get down on your knees, the higher God's going to take you if you just learn to get low so he can take you higher. Look at your neighbor and say, get low, get low, get low. I got to run. Here's the next point. I'm running, y'all. This blessed my spirit. What he said rebukes, quiets, and stills. Y'all caught that? What he said, put on the screen, Faith. What he said rebukes, quiets, and stills. Verse 39 says that he said, peace, be still. Brother Jason, I've always been fascinated with this part of the text because of the phrase, peace, be still. But I discovered something that made this little country boy and my little soul get happy. I realized that when Jesus said, peace, be still, that he wasn't making one command, Dr. Joyner, he was making two commands. Check this out. He says, he spoke to the storms, the sound that it was making, all that it was doing, he spoke to that. But then he also spoke to the source of the storm. He told the storm that it needed to cease, told the storm to have peace, but he told that which was causing the storm to be still. Be still. Come on now. Say it one more time. He silenced the chaos. He silenced the wind. He silenced the wave. He silenced all of that. He said, peace. Come on now. Eigerhart, the thing about when he spoke peace, it wasn't a gradual thing. It had to stop right then. And so when he said peace, the wind had to stop blowing. The breakers had to stop dashing. The waves had to stop rolling because he said peace. But catch this. Not only did he tell the signs of what was taking place, the consequences of what was happening, he spoke to that which was causing it. And he says, be still. There's some stuff in your life that God says, yes, I've been seeing the signs, I've been seeing the evidence, I've been seeing the residue, but I'm going to talk to the source of what it is that's been holding you too long and say, be still. There's some stuff in your life today that God said be still to. He done spoke to your waves. He done spoke to your winds, but he said some stuff deep down on the inside that I got to say, be still. Yeah. When he speaks, be still. It's got to stop. He don't care who it is. It can be the devil, all his imps, and the shylights, and the pimps. He don't need them. He don't care who it is. Amen. When he says be still, it's got to stop. Amen. At his word, amen, it has to obey. I'm going to hump it off right here. As I sat this week at my desk, all kind of crazy stuff had happened all week long. And I began thinking about the fact that, God, you made me a promise. And I'm holding you to that promise. But why is it that all this hell is coming against me? He let me understand that is necessary. You got to have resistance because where I'm taking you requires you to be strong enough to endure what's going to come your way. Everything can't be sunshine, bluebirds on your shoulder. It can't be red roses. And no. God's got to allow you to go through because of what he's getting ready to do in your life. So I sat there this week, thought about it. Then got here on yesterday. Told them, I said, they didn't even know what I was talking about today. But Jason started a conversation that tied in to what it is that I'm talking today. Because sometimes you got to understand things may not work the way you want them to work, but God has a greater plan in what it is that he is doing. All right. So what are you saying today, Key? You might think that it ain't gonna happen. The devil has convinced you that it ain't gonna work. You going down low, you ain't never coming up no more. Look at you, everything you got just slipping through your fingers. It ain't gonna never come back to you. You might as well give up. Go sit in the corner and cry. The enemy will tell you that. Tell you, go on and give up. Don't even go to church on Sunday. Go on ahead, have you a pity party all by yourself. Invite all your little friends to come out. Anxiety, depression, all them. Come on and hang out with me while I'm going through what I'm going through. But God says, I sent some folk by here this morning to be reminded that I said what I said. And because I said what I said, don't you watch what the enemy is trying to say and what he's trying to do. Because every promise, it will come to pass. Today he's saying to your storm, peace, be still. He's talking to all that you're going through, those little things, the issues, the stuff you're seeing right now. He's saying to that peace, and he's talking to that thing right on the inside, what the enemy's trying to use. He said, you got to be still. I'm tired of you disturbing my child. I'm tired of you to cause confusion in their mind. I'm tired of you doing. Be still. So this morning, I'm talking to somebody. Need you to understand, my brother, my sister, whoever it may be, that word that he spoke to you, you've been going through. But the word for you today is that he said what he said. And you hold on to his word. So today, if I'm talking to you, today, if that word has pierced your heart, if that word has confirmed some stuff, listen, it's not by happenstance or coincidence that you're here today, but that God sent you by his providence to come. And not only to just to come and to see and hear, but he's saying, I need you to go ahead and surrender your life to me. I need you to surrender your being, your total self unto me. So today, if you heard the word and that reminder spoken to your life, now is your time to come and say, Lord, here I am. Use me. Use me, Father. Though the storm keeps on raging